Alright, we have started the stream. We have no idea who's in the lobby the chat room right now. So if you're stopping by, come say hi. We are waiting for the tournament to start. The tournament has actually started for the 3v3 college invitational for the CCA. We will be casting specifically for the Hoosiers team, as we are IU casters, and unfortunately we do not have access to view the games that are not being played by the Hoosier. I am Klanoic, and
I am Ravlin. Will be your two casters for the night. There are actually two Indiana University teams. The other IU team has just been knocked down to the lower bracket in a 2-0 versus Purdue.
All right, and the University of Illinois at Chicago and CU Boulder are about 13 minutes in, which means their game will be ending soon, and we will be going underway, watching the game, casting the game for your entertainment, and experiencing Rocket League to its fullest. Now, as a quick introduction, the players that we will be having, there's 3 on each team. There is Cydonia. I do know that 2 of them are grand champions, which is the top, less than the top 1% alpha players in the ranked system, and Nick is a champion. So you will be viewing quite the high level play in this stream, and we will do our best to be commentating on the strategies, on the action to the best of our abilities. We will all be learning this together. Once again, if you're just joining us, please stop by and say hi. Hello. Texas really spawned. I can't really read your name.
That was me.
Alright, now we can actually read the chat quite clearly. Alright, so for now we can chill out and just practice commentating and filming time. We are still waiting for the game to finish. It is 15 minutes in, which means the bracket will be ending soon, and we will be underway with our first game. Oh, she didn't listen to the chat for the password and stuff? Oh, they called it out. And we have someone who just joined us. If you have just joined us, this is the IU gaming stream of the CCA tournament for Rocket League for the college level. We are still waiting for the first match to finish, so the Hoosiers team can be matched up with the winner of that bracket, and we can be underway to watch our first game here. If you're stopping by, please say hi. I'm Klanoic, and my co-caster, actually I guess we're co-casters with each other, is Ravlin. He is going to do some more of the technical work, trying to get our camera set up, and trying to join the game, getting everything underway. Right now we are still waiting, and the second viewer left, so now we're all alone. We're all alone. No worries, that's fine. Probably just jumped in, saw nothing's happening, and left. So. UIC 120? For... what is this for? Oh, UIC. All right. As we get this underway, we have confirmation that the previous bracket has just ended, which means we will be starting our game very, very soon. This is our first time casting, which means we're still learning how to enter the room and how everything is organized, because right now the organization of these tournaments aren't quite as structured as we will hope. We might join the lobby before the match starts, and we might join the lobby when action has already started. So stick around, and very soon we will be underway and watching some Rocket League gameplay. And welcome to welcome SCD to the room. The game audio is a bit loud. Ravlin. Game audio loud, yeah. Yep, we have just turned it down. Thank you for the feedback. We are still testing things out. Yeah, keep the comments coming in, and we will try to get the best stream possible. We do not know whether once the game starts, if the game audio of all of the cards in action, the goals and the saves will get even louder than now. So if the game audio still becomes too loud once the game starts, please do let us know, and we can adjust it so we can get the optimal setting between the commentary, the audio level, and the game audio. As you can see now, we are trying to join lobby here, having a little bit of difficulties because we do know that they are ready, but we haven't gotten a lot of information back about the lobby name, also the password. And if you're just joining us, this is the IU's stream of the Rocket League tournament, CCA, the 3v3 Invitational. We will be following and casting for the Hoosiers team, which we are affiliated with under IU Gaming. And so hopefully you will watch us follow that team through the matches and for some very, very entertaining gameplay. Once again, this will be our first time casting Rocket League for the both of us. We have minimal gameplay and minimal experience, so this will be a learning process for all of us. And as you can see, we're still waiting for some information to come in. It seems that they are still organizing the lobby. It's a little bit more complicated than oh, and looks like we are in a party. And very soon we will be in the lobby. As you can see, this will be a 3v3. Our account would just be for the spectator. So we will not be playing in the game. And hello, Cheshire. Hello, and welcome to the room. This will be the cast. Since you're just joining us, this is the cast of the 3v3 CCA tournament of Rocket League, and this is the IU's cast. And looks like the game is underway. The blue team and orange team, and we are starting a spectating mode. Looks like the lobby is still filling up with the other players as they get the game ready. And we have yet to find out which the blue team is and which the orange team is. And very, very soon we will have our first game underway. Now, this will be Hoosier's first game, whereas it will be Chicago's IUIC. Is that a college name?
UIC, University of Illinois Chicago. It'll be their second match in a row. I think they took about maybe a 30-second break between these games, so you know these games aren't as long as some of the other esports that are out there. But if they go further on in the tournament, fatigue could become an issue.
Now, since this is a very, well, I won't say straightforward game, but simple in its mechanics, I do wonder whether UIC, since having played one game already, will have a bit more of a warm-up than the Hoosiers team. And we'll find that out as the game will be underway quite soon. What do you think, Ravlin? Do you think this will make quite a difference?
I'm not sure. What I do know is that when I was talking with the guys in the Discord server, this was the team that they were the most concerned about. All right, and it looks like the Hoosiers are in the orange team, and they are immediately going down and being aggressive against that blue goal. But blue is able to send it back across the field.
Now, very quickly, the orange team is the Hoosiers team and the blue team is UIC. On the field, we have Red Boy on the blue team along with, looks like that name is, I can't quite read it, it's going up by too
Dan
fast.
the Man.
Dan the Man. So we will be following both sides here.
And Dana Mull for the blue team. However, on the Hoosiers team, we've got Nicklit, we've got Tech, and we've got Cydonia as our 3 players. Now, it appears that the orange team has left their goal.
That's very, very close from Dan the Man. Just a little bit, not the right trajectory as he was hoping for. Up high and a low bounce. It looks like, nope, got blocked by the blue team by Dan the Man. Good going for the defense for the blue team.
All right, and there Nick just picked up the full. Oh, and Tech scores.
And the blue team did try to block there, as we can see the replay, but he didn't quite get that fast enough. That means he actually did redirect the ball into the goal, not quite early enough for the defense.
Yep, Tech just taps it in there and is able to get that goal. The blue team was not able to get up there quite fast enough. Just not able to get in position, and that was honestly a free goal there from Nick. I'm not sure what the blue team were doing, but they just left their goal wide open. Danimal on the other team just walked away, and Nick was able to just tap it right in like it was nothing.
I do wonder if that was a play constructed for the beginning of the game where it was a 2-on-1 from the goalie, and it was a very, very easy goal for this kind of high-level execution. Now we do see that the blue team tried to go for another goal, but no, blocked by the orange team. The orange team trying to get aggressive here, trying to move the ball back to the other side, but the blue team can once again push the ball. Here we go. Nope, looks like a block.
And we saw a really good pass from Cydonia to Tech there. Now, having played this game a little bit, I can tell you that the control that these players are displaying of their cars and ball control is quite frankly amazing. They're just able to put that ball where they need it to go and where they want it to go. Dan the Man's coming around on the top, sending it down to the orange team and tries to follow it up there, but misses it, and Cydonia knocks it away from the Hoosiers' goal. All right, the Hoosiers are all 3 together now, and it looks
Cydonia juggling the ball towards the blue side and getting close, but looks like it's going to be a block away. If you're just joining us very quickly, the blue team is going to be UIC, the orange team is IU Hoosiers.
All right, and there goes Nick knocking it back, and he's doing a bit of a breakaway on his own, and then it gets knocked up into the air. Cydonia comes in for the tap down, but doesn't manage to knock it in. Oh, Nick almost had it there. If he had connected with the ball there, I think that would have gone straight in between the defenders on the University of Illinois team.
It's like IU was trying to get aggressive there, but having the goalie come out to help out. Hopefully they are back in defensive position, and they are. Tech does go for a block out, and Cydonia trying to move the ball into the blue zone, and she does. And as we look, oh, nope, and the blue team does push the ball back, but Cydonia trying to juggle the ball. Nick trying to come help, but goes too far, and the blue team will try to push. And no, the orange team comes in, and with such a close goal, Cydonia trying to intercept. They're trying to look at the ball in, but was not close enough to make that contact.
Yeah, just trying to redirect that in. It was so close, it came right off of the goalpost there. Just wasn't quite enough. But in a game like this, you win by taking shots on goal. So every shot like that is worth taking, and that is how you end up being up 2 goals to nothing. So far, I don't think I've really seen the blue team make more than maybe 3 shots on goal, and the orange team just keeps on going. So even though the Hoosiers have only scored twice, they keep making those shots. They keep taking those shots.
Yes, it looks like the ball is staying in the blue zone for quite a while. The orange team being very, very aggressive. And the block missed by the blue team, and Cydonia with another goal. When we look at it here at the replay, Cydonia going for a good angle, gets right a direct path, and cannot quite get the block there. And you do see that there was another orange team there going for the backup strat in case it does get blocked for that put in again.
All right, so what you saw Cydonia there when he was going for that first ball, you saw his car flip. If you do an immediate flip as you're going forward, that is one way you can pick up speed without spending the boost that your car has. your car has limited boost that you pick up on these pads on the corners that you might see a little glowing ball hovering over. That'll give you full boost. But those flips, those front flips, will give you extra speed without using up that limited resource.
Now with 40 seconds remaining, blue team did have a close chance to get a goal there, but was not quite enough. Almost 30 seconds remaining. The blue team has quite a bit to catch up for 3 since they're down 3. They have to score 3 in 30 seconds in order for a tie to maybe extend the game. It looks like 30 seconds officially here, and the ball is still in the blue zone. Orange team, the IU, still being very, very aggressive.
And that aggression seems to be paying off for the Hoosiers. I wonder if in the next game that UIC might be able to try to punish that aggression in some way. Maybe catch the Hoosiers a bit off sides and try to sneak in a goal behind their back. And
and look at that, 1 second remaining and Tech scores. That is quite a salt in the wound.
4-0 for the Hoosiers, and these guys were saying that this team was the one that they were the most worried about going into it. Looks like their fears might be a little unfounded.
Looks like 1 second remaining just for the game to cool down, and looks like the winner is the IU Hoosiers. Very well played on both teams, both for UIC and the IU Hoosiers. And it's actually my first time seeing a victory dance there by the Cards. Very, very entertaining. As you can see, it's 4-0. In IU's favor, with Tex, Cydonia, and Nick putting up a very, very, very aggressive fight against UIC. And congrats to Dan the Man, Bread Boy, and final player there, couldn't quite catch the name. And looks like we will be going underway, D4 Animal. So congratulations on both teams for a fantastic game.
All right, and it looks like we will continue to be the orange team. And one thing to note here, this is probably not a deciding factor, but you will notice that the blue team has slightly lower ping values than the orange team. So they are...
Looks like game round 2 is right underway. Sorry about that, we are still learning the mechanics of the menu system. And this time we do still have Hoosiers as the orange team and the UIC as the blue team. And once again, the Hoosiers very, very aggressive. All 3 players on the blue side of the map and trying to get aggressive, but the blue team is pushing back. That means they will push them back into a more defensive position.
And they were able to pass that ball back and forth, just like you would see something like Manchester United pass back a soccer ball back and forth. Which is, again, just showing the incredible control these players have over these vehicles to get them to go where they want to go.
Now, the UIC in very good position for a goal, but doesn't quite get a trajectory, quite a bit far off from the goal. And the orange team, the Hoosiers, trying to get aggressive there. And we will see. And all 3 players going aggressive. Looks like they are comfortable with the first win there by large margin and going very aggressive for the second game.
That one was real close, just bounced right off of the top bar there. Almost went in. That I don't think that UIC would have been able to do much about that one if that had been just a little bit lower.
Now the Hoosier is trying to push the ball back, and nobody's at a goal, but Dan the Man does manage to chase back with the boost to get that ball away from the goal.
Yeah, if Dan the Man didn't have any boost there, he would not have been able to catch that ball, and that would have been just the most depressing thing to watch just roll into the goal.
Oh, looks like a good trajectory, but Tech with the save. Very good defense by the Hoosiers, and going aggressive again as Tech and Nick try to fight their way for another goal as we are now 3 minutes.
And Cydonia with a nice aerial there, but it was blocked by Bread Boy there, gets credit for the save. Nick is on the ball, ready to take over for it. Cydonia ends up taking the pass from Nicklit. Cydonia goes in, Nicklit with the bounce, and then Cydonia almost... Oh, that was close. Good save from Bread Boy on the University of Illinois team there. Just bounced back and forth, almost like a breakout match there between those 2 cars for a minute.
Now IU still getting aggressive. All 3 players trying to go aggressive on the offense here. If you're just joining us, it is Hoosiers, IU Hoosiers on the orange, and UIC on the blue team.
University of Illinois at Chicago, who the Hoosiers were saying they felt was their biggest competition in this particular bracket. So, judging by how the first game went, that if this is their biggest challenge, we might be seeing a few bloodbaths tonight. But it's still too early to tell. We are over halfway through this round, and it is still 0-0. So, maybe UIC just need a little bit of time to get their shake off that last match and not let it get to them. That is something that they are going to have to fight. Losing the first match 4-0, they absolutely could very easily be tilted at this point. 4-0 is not a low score, and Cydonia just knocks it in with the assist from Nick. If we look at that, we see Nick just bouncing it down, and then Cydonia catches it on the upswing and just bounces it right in like it was nothing.
That was very impressive calculated by Cydonia, squeezing the ball into the corner, just barely hitting the edge of that goal. Now with Hoosiers up 1-0, that means the Hoosiers can play a bit more defensively and be a bit more comfortable, because it does seem like before, when it was still 0-0, the Hoosiers was going very, very aggressive with all three members going for the offense there.
Now they're up 2-0. Nicklit gets that score right in there. I think he actually bounced it off one of the Chicago players. Let's see on this replay. He knocks it down, and I believe it bounces off of Danimal for that goal. That's just a bit of style in there.
Yeah, now it does look like Cydonia was there squeezing and putting the defender out of position, really forcing and almost confusing the defender to go into a very unfortunate collision for the ball into their own goal. And looks like the first goal for the Chicago team, the Animal, really getting that first goal, and they must really need to ride that morale there and that momentum if they want to win the second round.
And I got to tell you, the Hoosiers were, Tech I believe was right there for that save. He was maybe half of a hair off of actually getting that save. It was really close. Now let's see. Oh, there we go. Good save from Nicklit. Gets the credit for it. Cydonia's up there in the air, knocking it down. Danimal is able to knock it off of trajectory. I think it was going for the goal there.
And intercepted right into the goal with the Cydonia, changing that directly into the goal, making sure they do get a goal. If you take a look at the replay, that was already in trajectory. Cydonia just making sure they do get that goal.
Cydonia getting that touch, getting it out of the way of the University of Illinois players.
Now with 1 minute remaining with 3-1, as long as the Hoosiers play defensively, they should secure the second win very, very easily.
Yeah, but the Hoosiers here don't strike me as a team that was an amazing save by Tech. He launched his car right into the corner there, and then Cydonia just knocks it off. The University of Chicago folks were just, I think they're feeling the pressure right now. If they lose this match, they drop down to the lower bracket, and the lower bracket is best of ones.
Now, I don't blame Chicago being aggressive there, since there is only a minute left and they had to chase 2 points. Going full out offense, it was only their option there to get a goal as fast as possible.
Yeah, they're doing the Rocket League version of pulling their goalie to get an extra player on the field, and unfortunately the Hoosiers were able to punish them for that particular style of play. So right now we are in the winner's bracket. We are in the upper bracket, which are best of 3 matches. If you lose one of your matches here, you don't get eliminated. You just drop down to the lower bracket. But in the lower bracket, you only get a best of 1 instead of a best of 3.
That was almost very close off the backboard there. If Dynamo was in position, would have gotten another goal. But a 2-4 still will be a long stretch away to get 2 more goals in 2 minutes as the game is winding down. 5 seconds left. Congratulations to IU. Oh wait, but looks like Dynamo going for...
Once again, with that 1 second left goal, Tech coming in for the absolute kill shot. He is going for the jugular. He is not taking any mercy on these University of Chicago players.
I
University of
apologize
Illinois,
for
Chicago.
saying the round of the game was winding down. That was not winding down at all. And now... Well, no.
So, particular mechanic in this game is as long as the ball is in the air, the game still goes on. So it is theoretically possible for University of Illinois to still come back if they're able to keep the ball in the air every single moment and get 4 goals. Unfortunately, that is not what happened.
Now with the first bracket here now finished, a 5-1 for the second round, a 4-0 for the first round. That is the best of 3, so IU Hoosiers will be moving up to the next brackets. Very, very well done on both teams. Very, very good gameplay there. And Chicago will be moving to the losers bracket. We will be following IU Hoosiers as they move up the bracket, so we wish Chicago the best of luck as they face all of the challenges in the losers bracket. Now, if you are just joining us, a very quick recap. I am Klenoic and my co-caster is Ravlin. And we are following the 3v3 CCA Rocket League tournament that's being held here right now live. And we will be casting and following our Hoosiers throughout the entire game. Now, if you're just joining us, as we wait for the next round, please come and say hi, have a little chat. If you're new to Rocket League, we are too, so we're going to be learning all of this together. And we will be looking at learning about casting this game, learning about the mechanics and the intricacies of Rocket League.
Right, so right now, the guys are waiting for their next opponent. It appears that their next opponent is going to be the Iowa State Cardinals. And as soon as this gets reported and we can get into the lobbies, we will be all set to go. So again, we will be following the Hoosiers facing against the Iowa State Cardinals. I will note that the Iowa State Cardinals also had a first-round bye, and actually, so far, all three teams that have had first-round byes that have played their winner quarterfinal matches, these teams with the first-round byes did take all three matches 2-0. So the MTU Huskies took it 2-0 over the ITT Scarlet Hawks. The Hoosiers took it 2-0 over the University of Illinois, and the Iowa State Cardinals took it 2-0 over Purdue Gold.
Now, Lazark, if you're wondering, there are brackets available, but we are having a bit of technical difficulties, unable to show the brackets on stream here. On the capture mode, this just show all black for Chrome, but we apologize not being able to show the brackets. But it looks like Iowa State Cardinals did win against Purdue Gold, and Purdue Gold coming from the first bracket were up against Indiana University.
All right, we are loading into the next game, and yes, for the record, we will be commentating other games such as Overwatch, Dota, League of Legends, and any other games that we get here on IU's campus that people want to play competitively and want casters. You could get one of us, you could get two of us, you could get some combination. I've got some other people who are interested in joining up on the casting team, who I'm still trying to get into this squad here.
Looks like we are in the lobby for the second round for the Hoosiers, the third round, which is technically the third bracket here. This is the winners semifinals, and this will not be a short tournament. If Hoosiers does end up winning this conference here, we will be moving up to the next conference called the Elite Eight.
So we will be casting just as often as there is demand here from teams at IU. I have been casting Overwatch practices on Saturdays from about 10 until noon, and we are into the game. The game is started, and it looks like the Hoosiers are once again the orange team. I'm expecting a little bit of a stiffer competition, since this is also a team that just won their last match 2-0. So I'm expecting the enemy team to also be, fresh and high off of their resounding victory.
And it does look like that, as the Cardinals are very aggressive. The ball staying on the orange side ever since the beginning of this game, and the Hoosiers really trying to get aggressive and trying to push the ball to the other side, and it looks like Cydonia missing that trajectory there, and we do have the detonation. Cydonia detonated one of the blue players, but no, the Cardinals pushing that ball back and really missing that chance.
Yeah, that was a good defensive move, because one of their players was taken out of the action for about 5 seconds. CCA stands for the College Carball Association. It is a mildly informal group of college students that just holds these tournaments of people who wanted to play Rocket League.
And that was a very, very close call, as nobody was there.
Oh!
Cydonia just followed that up with that opportunity. Just now, nobody at the goal, and the blue team, that's a long name, can't really quite read it right now, trying to save that, but Cydonia really putting the nail into the coffin, getting that goal done.
Yeah, it looks like Nicklit just wasn't quite there in time, and Cydonia just taps it right in.
Now, with the Hoosiers now up 1-0, it will be interesting to see if the Hoosiers decide to play. But defensively, a detonation does occur. Nick juggling and trying to stall for time as one of the players respawn back.
Nick there juggles it, or dribbles it right up against the ceiling, sets it up. Cydonia does take a little shot there, Cydonia bounces it off the top left-hand corner of that goal into himself and then taps it right in. That was a stylish play there.
Cydonia was the MVP from last round, and Cydonia really not letting up and still going hot, and now round 2. Now with up 2-0, who's just feeling a bit more comfortable. Cydonia juggling there, trying to be a little bit crafty, but it looks like the ball's going to get knocked up high. Tech pushing the ball through Cydonia with a good trajectory, but blocked by Nicklit.
And Nicklit manages to get in there and get in between his goal and the ball. One thing I did notice when this round started, 2 of the Hoosier team sprinted forward, running straight for the ball, but Nick went backwards to be able to cover his goal. We'll have to keep an eye on that to see if that pattern of 2 forward, 1 back at the start of after each score holds true for this team, if that's just their particular style, or if they are actually playing a little bit more defensively than they have been, keeping one player back a little bit just to make sure that they can keep their goal covered.
Now Tech pushing the ball back, but the blue off the aerial, and looks like Nicklit going for a very, very direct goal right into the goal from the ground. Very, very unexpected, came out of nowhere. Very good goal by Nick.
That was just a straight up breakaway, and RD Crush just wasn't able to get high enough. He was moving in the right direction, but he just was not able to get in the way of that ball. Just like you watch a soccer goalie, dive for it and just miss. That's what we just saw there.
Now, start off that one right there. It looks like only one of the Hoosiers team went forward for the offense there, maybe 2-1 back for defense, as they are up 3-0 and not quite necessary to be very, very offensive.
I would say that the entire Hoosier team is pretty lit right now. They won the last round 5-0 or 4-0 and then 4-1. And now they're up 4-0 with 2 minutes left in this game.
Speaking of lit, Nicklit go for another goal there. A very, very good trajectory, and not quite the time enough for that save by Nicklit.
If the goal was about an inch and a half back, I think Nicklit would have gotten that save. But, once the ball crosses the plane of the goal, that's a score.
It looks like Cydonia going for aggressive there, but looks like Tech back in the defense. And Cydonia trying to get a trajectory. Does it go in? No, it was quite off the backboard. Very hard to see the angle there.
Nicklit almost is able to just bounce it right into the goal, but the enemy team was there in the way, and it bounced off Nicklit again. But, hey, look at that. RD Crush gets a goal.
Now, hopefully that will give them enough momentum to start scoring goals, as they do have only a minute 50 left to rush back 3 points. A very, very precise upper left-hand corner there. Very, very well played by RD Crush.
RD Crush does manage to beat Cydonia to the ball there and get that first touch. It looks like ISU is trying to take this opportunity, take this goal, and get a bit of a shot in the arm, see if they can wake themselves up and start staging a comeback here. But Cydonia and Nicklit are bringing that ball forward. I will say Aeronautique appears to be rather skilled at taking the ball up into the air and getting those aerial touches on it. But so far, I haven't seen him be able to convert that into a score or otherwise really control the ball.
Yeah, it looks like the Hoosiers team is being still very, very aggressive, even though there's 1 minute remaining and they're up 3. And the Hoosiers really, really not giving Cardinals any space to breathe and any opportunity to make the most out of any play they're trying to set up.
Nicklit was there trying to knock that ball across, but just barely misses it as it bounces a little higher than he is able to get.
Now, RC Crush really trying to get there, but intercepted by the Hoosiers. The blue team trying to be aggressive. 30 seconds left. Remember, this is going to be only the first round, so they do have a chance to come back if they fall short.
Cydonia does manage to make a great save from a really solid shot on goal there, but Cydonia was just able to get in between himself and that goal and that ball. 9 seconds left, 4-1 up, unless the blue team is able to manage to stage a fantastic recovery.
Oh, and a 2-second. Hoosier is really, really mean with all of these last-second goals. It looks like Tech going for that, and Cydonia putting it into the goal. 2 seconds left, 5-1. Very, very skilled play, and looks like Hoosier is not giving the Cardinals any chance for a comeback.
Yeah, once the ball is touched there, the timer finishes, and then it's just knocked down into the ground. And we are moving on to the next round.
Now we have a tiny break here. If you're just joining us, this is the coverage of the CCA, the College Carball Association. And this will be the second round. We are following the IU Hoosiers, and the second round is now underway. And it looks like the Hoosiers still on the orange team, and the Cardinals on the blue team here. And as we go underway, Cydonia trying to get that first touch, and looks like Nicklit will now push into the blue side.
And then dribbles it off the wall. He kicks it into the wall, passes it back to himself, taps it right in.
And if you're wondering in the chat, I guess Nick is being lit right here. Really, really playing aggressive, doing a lot of work. And hopefully we can keep watching this amazing gameplay, high-level gameplay from both teams.
I gotta tell you, these Hoosier guys are making this game look easy. These are rather skilled opponents that they're playing against, and after a while, you have to wonder, are they just, I think they're just having fun with this.
It looks like Cydonia not really in a rush to do anything. They're doing a few flips there. Maybe he or she was out of boosts. I actually don't quite know. Remember, boosts are a limited resource. You can't get a refills on the orbs that's floating around on the field there. And a very, very close call there.
Oh, Nicklit almost was able to get the tap right in there. If he had a slightly better angle, he would have been able to just tap that right in, but not quite able to get that. Although ISU is managing to hold the ball onto the Hoosier side of the field here. We've even got 2 of our guys within that 6-yard radius of the goal, playing really defensive here. Maybe they're able to knock it back on the other side and just get some more of that aggression that we've come to know and enjoy watching from this team.
Now it looks like RC Crush really dribbling the ball, going for a lob, and it goes in. RD Crush with a second goal here.
He does manage to just bounce it right over Tech. Tech is doing his best to get there, but I do think the interference from Nicklit prevented Tech from getting exactly where he wanted to go. All right, ISU has tied this up 1-1 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the game here. Nicklit is, spiking it down onto the ground. Tech is coming up there, and Tech is not quite able to knock that one in. RD Crush does manage to get the aerial bump out of the way and remove that ball from their side of the court.
Now good save by Tech. It looks like it's a good trajectory. No, it was a bit too high off the backboard there. Nobody to follow it up. RD Crush dribbling it towards his own goal, probably for a more defensive play. Nick trying to tap it. Is there someone to follow up? Nope. It looks like the momentum has slowed down here a bit for both the blue and orange team. But a close goal.
Oh, that was really close. You could actually see the gray plane of the front of the goal going over the ball there. The ball has to cross the gray plane fully to be considered a goal, and it wasn't quite there. That was as close as you can get without actually scoring a goal.
Now looks like the ball's back over on the orange side. The Cardinals trying to be aggressive there, trying to get the edge on the Hoosiers, but it looks like Cydonia going to dribble back the ball out. No, RD Crush going for a bit more aggression, but now a more defensive play by the Hoosiers.
Cydonia does try to get another tap down and, tap in a goal from there, just like Tech is doing, and he bounces it off of ISU and manages to get the goal, bouncing it right off their head.
Very good calculation by Tech. Very, very high level execution. And it looks like the Hoosiers will be now up 1, 2-1.
All right, there we go. Tech getting the first touch there. And we are moving in. Cydonia coming in, flying through the air, getting that touch, and then getting a touch again from the air, trying to keep it down on ISU's side. Now we see Tech and Nicklit here getting that ball. Presumably Cydonia is just slightly off screen. comes in to get that touch. These Hoosier guys are wanting to go for it hard. It bounced off of the left rail there, not quite enough to go in. All right, ISU has a breakaway with Aeronautique. Are they able to turn this into anything? Yes, they are. Nicklit was able to do that. This is what I was talking about earlier. I feel like the Hoosiers are getting punished for their aggression just a little bit here. They weren't able to get all of their players back in time to defend, so ISU was able to just get that tap right in. Thank you, Some Dead Meme, for the follow. I do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you around as we're doing various esports around here at IU. Thank you for the follow from US McTurp. US McTurp. Once again, hope to see you around.
Back to the game. Nick coming back.
You know, what is there to say about a goal like that? Nick had an open goal. Cydonia passed it to him, and then Nick just taps it in.
Very quick reflex by Nick there, seeing the trajectory of the ball and swaying to the left just in time to get a trajectory right into the goal. Now 3-2. And with less than 1 minute 30 remaining, we will see if the Hoosiers take a more defensive play or it's going to keep the aggression up.
If I had to guess, I was going to guess that the Hoosiers want to get at least one more goal before they just try to spin the wheels and run the clock out, especially considering how ISU has managed to tie this up. I don't think the Hoosiers are particularly interested in taking this game into overtime.
Cydonia trying to juggle the ball through the air there, but got intercepted. Tech trying to push the ball forward. It looks like it's a clear goal. Is this a good trajectory? No, it was not quite the right trajectory, and the blue team does keep it far away from the goal.
Nicklit managed to get there just in time. Oh, Cydonia almost gets it dribbled off the back wall back to himself. Nicklit does come in. Cydonia again with another shot.
And Hoosiers very, very aggressive. They're all three players going follow-up by follow-up after follow-up. And Nick with a very, very good save there just in time. Otherwise, it would have been a tight game, and Nick's pushing the ball out, and we have 30 seconds remaining. And we'll see if the Cardinals can tie the game up here.
All right, Tech goes off the wall to knock that ball back. Cydonia is picking up the ball. Oh, RD Crush steals it away. Once again, we've got Tech here trying to bring it down. Now, ISU has all three of their players here. Thank you, San Flamingo, for the follow. ISU now has it in their side of the court. The ball is in the air. How long in the air can they keep it? As long as this ball is in the air, the game continues, but then Tech just spikes it down into the ground.
Now, Nick here as the MVP. It was Cydonia that was the MVP for the last 3 times. And it looks like we will be advancing through the brackets. 2-0, the final score, and very well played by both the Cardinals and the Hoosiers. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the commentary, and we are following the IU Hoosiers as they move up again the ladder for the CCA, the College Carball Association tournament, the 3v3 Invitational. If you're in the chat as we wait for the next round to start, feel free to say hi, have a little chat as we learn about Rocket League together, as this is our first time. I am Klenoic, and the co-caster here
is Ravlin. I am going to bring you a brief update of the bracket here. It appears that the MTU Huskies are waiting for their opponent for the winner's semi-final, which is the game that we just finished here, taking it 2-0 over the Iowa State Cardinals. The Huskies are waiting for the winner of University of Illinois and CU Boulder esports team. They're about 16 minutes into their match. We're not quite sure how many games they've gone to, or if they are just finishing up and waiting to report. In fact, even our game has not quite updated on the website yet. All right, so the University of Illinois did take it over CU Boulder Esports 2-0, and the Hoosiers are up 2-0. All right, let's just take a look at the losers bracket round. So Purdue Gold took it 1-0 over Purdue Black. University of Illinois took it 1-0 over Iowa State Gold. So Iowa State Gold and Purdue Black are both out. The Scarlet Hawks are going up against CU Boulder, and the other CU Boulder team, there are multiple of these teams here, is going up against the other IU squad, and we do not have an update from that one.
Now, Ravlin, just a confirmation, it looks like we are waiting for a full game to finish there. Is that correct?
Yes, so we're probably going to have at least 5 or 10 minutes before we can get another game in. University of Illinois and MTU Huskies both have to get their games, both have to get into the game, register that they are there, start and play the games. And who knows, that might actually go the full 3 games. So far, we have not seen a single match go the full 3 games here. Everything has been a 2-0 sweep. There is actually, we don't know how close these sweeps have been. Our sweeps have been very one-sided. But, for all we know, the MTU Huskies might have taken it, a hard-fought 2 games over the Scarlet Hawks.
Now, if you did not hear this before, but two of the players on the IU Hoosiers team is a grand champion, which is less than 1%, the top.
It's my understanding that it is the top 0.7% of players. So we are watching some highly skilled Rocket League here. This is quite a treat for us to watch.
Now, if you are in the chat, if you are stopping by, please say hi and give us a chat, as we have to wait about 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes. Looks like the round did start for the Huskies and University of Illinois, but we have to wait for that bracket to finish for us to advance and play the next game.
Right, so I think Kalanick and I are going to take a couple of minutes to grab a drink of water, run to the bathroom, make sure that we are ready for the next round.
Yeah, if you're dropping by, please feel free to chat, to talk about anything in the chat, hopefully and preferably Rocket League related. We are going to be taking a bit of a downtime here, which means you won't hear too much commentary, but we will try our best to chat and keep you updated. So once again, this is the casting and commentary of the Rocket League here, and Ravlin and I have been doing different kinds of commentary. This is our first Rocket League commentary, and we have been doing commentary for Overwatch almost once every week. We are just starting learning commentary, learning games, learning streaming, and learning all sorts of these technologies, as it is one of our research interests, looking at the experience as a commentator and a caster and a streamer here. It looks like 2 minutes into the other game, we're still waiting for the other team to finish their round, and it looks like the losers bracket are pretty well underway, waiting for the other game to finish. And great, looks like the Hoosiers doesn't really want to cool down and keep their hands warm, keep their momentum going, keep that car jumping, car rocket, car hopping, car aerial sense very, very sharp as they wait for the next round to begin. And as we wait for that game to start, if you would like to drop by, say a hi. Nick is no longer lit. That chat is kind of old at this point. But yes, we will be streaming as long as the IU Hoosiers team is in the tournament, and we look forward to watching more and more entertaining and more exciting gameplay here in Rocket League.
Let's see, one quick update from the lower bracket. The lower bracket round 2, University of Illinois does take it over Purdue Gold. That was the University of Illinois that we beat out 2-0. So they were able to take it over Purdue Gold. And Purdue Gold was the team that did beat the other Indiana University team. We are waiting. The other IU team is in-game, but I do not have access to that. I do not have the lobby password, so I'm not able to get in there and observe. Some of the other content that I stream on my channel, we've got Overwatch practices, and we will have official Overwatch matches at some point. Those are usually Saturdays from roughly 10 till roughly noon. So you can join us for some early Saturday morning Overwatch games. Oftentimes, if we don't have a full group of 6 and we get a couple of randos in our stack, I get a little sassy at the randos who join us, because we always seem to get the most wonderful people, like the McCrees, who decide to just walk off a cliff for no reason at all. I also personally do some streaming of a couple of old Super Nintendo RPG randomizer runs. so Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy VI. And all of the content that is on my stream, you can find. I highlight it all so that it does stick around forever. And you can, it is linked to my YouTube account where you can find it there as well. I was not able to get a convenient YouTube link for the stream here. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm that should be at LD Cook, not Ravlin Bay. Both of them work. I just check the LD Cook one more often than the Ravlin Bay one.
Now for me, I am doing a lot of casting with Ravlin here, doing casting for Rocket League, Overwatch, and eventually, as Ravlin mentioned, Dota, and maybe a few other games. And in the future, I might be starting a few other streams of my own. Most likely I'll be looking into starting a few speedrunning streams and learning the speedrunning, a few speedruns myself. And it looks like we're still waiting if they are doing a 2v2. We're not quite sure if they have it organized, but we might just wait for the game to finish, as it is already 5 minutes underway for the other game.
Now, when you say speedrunning, Kalanick, what exactly do you mean, and what games might you be interested in trying to speedrun yourself there?
So speedrunning is a different kind of gameplay where instead of going through the story as intended or going through a game as intended, they find the fastest way to beat the game through any means possible, whether it's through route optimization, movement optimization, finding glitches, save state corruption by turning off the game when it says do not turn off the game. I've not quite yet decided what games I want to speedrun. I'm still very much new, but most likely it might be Zelda, it might be a PC game. I still haven't quite decided yet.
Actually, there's a whole bunch of Zeldas out there, and a lot of people who like to watch those. Which Zelda is your favorite?
The first Zelda game I played was the Majora's Mask, and that is the speedrun that I follow. There's a streamer that I watch ever since he started, and the game has exploded since then. Lots of new routes, lots of new categories, world records being broken almost every single month. But you yourself, you speedrun Final Fantasy, one of the Final Fantasy games.
I make some attempts at both 4 and 6. And one thing to note, when Kalanick and I here talk about esports, we do include speedrunning in that. We define esports as a competitive, generally online video game. And for speedrunning, you are competing against the other runners attempting to get the world record or personal best. You might be racing against yourself, but there is a competition. There are leaderboards, so I do consider that an e-sport. I've also dabbled a little bit into the Pokemon speedrunning world, but I have realized that I do not have the patience to reset 75 times to get the one mudkip that I need to actually make a run.
Yes, I have watched quite a few Pokemon speedruns myself, and I do understand that there's a lot of RNG, which stands for random number generation, random number generator, which is any random event, any random number that a game is based out of. So for getting the mudkip, you want to get the optimal stats for the Pokemon, and there are some even hidden stats that you don't see, and restarting 5, 10, 20, 30 times just to get that optimal mudkip is quite common.
Right, and for Final Fantasies 4 and 6, I do both randomizer runs, and I have done some regular runs of the games. I typically go for an any percent category, which is complete as much or as little of the game as you want, as long as you get to the end credits. But I usually tend to go for no wrong warp or no sketch glitch in the case of Final Fantasy VI. Wrong warp in this is...
wrong warping, there's a lot of different technical terms in the speedrunning community. Ravlin is going to go check what is the situation up right now, as it looks like Nick and Cydonia did leave the party, and we want to make sure that we are getting everything correct. It looks like we are back a little bit. There might just happen a soft reset there too, and maybe there were some logistical problems. But back to speedrunning for a bit, as we do wait for University of Illinois and the Huskies to finish their match. There are lots of different categories, and oftentimes in a video game, what happens is you can actually, when you do some really weird glitch, warp to places you're not supposed to, including the end of the game. Most notably, is, it looks like this will be a practice round, but most notably there's Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time, where you just run warp from the first boss directly to the final boss, which is very, very amusing to watch. It looks like it's going to be a practice round, a 1v1 it looks like. I've never seen a 1v1 before, Ravlin. Have you watched or played any 1v1s?
Not in Rocket League, but now we're going to get to see Nicklit and Cydonia do their best to prove who is the stronger player. And there goes Nicklit coming out to a early 1-0 lead. You know, at 4 minutes and 48 seconds left, 12 seconds in, he gets that score.
Now 1v1 is drastically different because you play both offense and defense and manage everything on your own, including trajectories, nobody to help assist you, nobody to help set you up, and you also have to go collect those boosts, which you need to manage everything. It looks like Cydonia going for the opportunity as Nick goes to collect the boost, but Nick boosting back to save.
Yeah, Cydonia thought he was going to be able to catch Nick while he was out getting that boost, catch him with his pants down, so to speak, but Nick uses that boost to good effect and gets a second score.
And 2-0 here for Nick. It looks like Nick's lit. Didn't really die down there. But if I remember correctly, Nick is the only champion level out of the other two grand champions. Is that correct?
That is my memory, but my memory is imperfect at best, so please don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure at that level, champions, grand champions, it doesn't really have a big difference. They're all very, very top tier players and all very, very skilled in Rocket League.
But of course, we could be having two offensive players going against each other, so the one who is more offensive might manage to pull away the win when he's putting his opponent on the back foot into the role that he's not used to playing. So, you know, it might not be a matter of who's the better player overall, but who's just the more aggressive one right now, trying to get them, you know, off of their game.
Well, it looks like Nick getting pushed back in, and a detonation from Cydonia, and Nick has to respawn. We have to take a look as Cydonia takes this chance. Doesn't quite get the opportunity she wants as Nick is back to defend.
But Nick wasn't able to save that. Once again, I think we're looking at two offensive players here going back and forth at it.
Doesn't look like Nick had any boost there to get the mobility he needs. I'm not quite sure if after detonation if you respawn with any amount of boosts.
I'm not sure if it's different after a detonation, but I know after a given score you respawn with, I think it's around 33% of your boost available. So it's not full boost, but it's also not completely empty. Any of those boost pads that are there, those are the little orange glowy things, and Cydonia comes back for the second goal, tying it up at 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Cydonia stealing the boost there, which probably means getting all the power and the speed needed to make that goal, as Nick probably running out of boosts, could not speed back for the defense. Very, very crafty by Cydonia there.
Yeah. Any of these pads will give you a boost, an amount of boost, but the ones with the orange glowing spheres over them will give you full boost no matter how low you are. So those ones are really valuable to go for because they can take you from nothing to full. That's a 0 to 60 and nothing flat.
Yeah, it looks like if you're just dropping in, this is the 1v1. This is not an actual tournament. It's just a warm-up. And a few practice as we wait 13 minutes in, which means we are going to have our next round underway.
Yes, we're waiting for the game between the University of Illinois, one of their teams, not entirely sure which one because all I can see from here is University of Illinois, versus the MTU Huskies. The MTU Huskies and University of Illinois were both once again first round buys. Cydonia pulls out another goal there.
It looks like Cydonia coming back with 3 goals in a row. Nick having a bit of trouble getting back into the momentum that he needs to get another goal. It looks like we are going to be pretty close to having our next round starting. It looks like, wow, a very, very strong pinch there to get a ball trajectory. Out and Cydonia with another goal. Very, very quick. Right from the beginning. A pinch out and a perfect trajectory.
Yeah, Nick just didn't have the boost to catch up to that ball. Just couldn't get the speed. A quick update from lower down in the bracket. The other Indiana University team did get eliminated by CU Boulder Esports. The other IU team does not quite have the same skill level as the Hoosiers here do, but they are still quite entertaining to watch. I wish we were able to get into both sets of games.
Yeah, hello there to you too, Denise. And if you're wondering why we cannot view the other games, it has to be a private lobby, and we are only getting the lobby information from one of the IU Hoosier team, so we can only follow the IU Hoosier games. We would like to cast every single one, however, the logistics of the tournament is a little bit messy right now.
I will note that in order for me to be able to get in and cast these games, I have technically joined the Hoosiers team on the CCA website. So the Hoosiers team has 4 players, Nicklit, Cydonia Tech, and Ravlin. If anyone did a little bit of research, they would find that Ravlin has less than 2 hours of gameplay in this game and is apparently undefeated in tournament play.
A prodigy right here, if you're ever wondering. Ravlin completely destroying the enemy teams. Looks like it's nearly 16 minutes for the other bracket. That means they should be winding down, unless they are very, very close games. Is there overtime in Rocket League if it's a tight game?
So there is overtime. At that point, I believe it is just sudden death. Whoever scores the next goal will take the win. But there is also the overtime mechanic where if the timer goes out and one team is ahead, the timer does not technically end until the ball hits the ground. So if you're at 0 seconds and the ball's in the air and you're able to score with that ball in the air, you can keep the game going even though the timer has technically run out. And Cydonia, be nice to your teammate.
I don't think Cydonia is showing any love there, as this is just very, very entertaining to watch. Two of them going all out on each other. No hard feelings at all. And just having a bunch of fun.
This reminds me of when I used to play cards with my family when I was growing up. And my dad and my grandfather always used to say, in cards there are no friends, there are no family. It's just business. And it's pretty clear to me that this is just business between these two.
Sounds like something that will build character and a bit too intense for me there. It looks like 50 seconds left on the clock on a 1v1. Can Nick come back with the 3 down? Looks like a high aerial there, and Nick trying to kind of missing the trajectory there, and Cydonia punishing him for it.
And trying to reverse back into that ball. I'm not sure the reverse there is quite fast enough to make that possible.
We got 30 seconds here left on the clock. 17 minutes, I guess. They are going into a bit of overtime in the other games there. Do you think it will still be a 2-0 sweep? That's been the pattern we've seen lately, Ravlin.
I don't know. I'm not one to bet against patterns here. When it's been 2-0 for the first 9 matches, who am I to say that the 10th match is going to be any different?
Hey, probability is hard. You never know, but it looks like we might be able to see the results of that game coming in pretty soon. Once again, 15 seconds left on the clock, a 4-6. Nick back with one of the goals, and see if Nick can get another one in with 10 seconds left.
Nick
and a detonation!
Using his boost there to get the detonation on Cydonia. Now, if Nick is able to get the ball in the air on the next kickoff and keep it in the air and get it into that goal, he might be able to tie this up at the last moment. But like you saw that goal hit the ground just before it went in, if the clock's at 0 and it hits the ground right there like that, it won't count as a goal.
And up in the air, 3 seconds left. That's probably the last floor touch. Can Nick come back? Nick trying to juggle. Cydonia juggle. They might just be stunning for time for fun. Showing off the skill, and
Cydonia puts in the goal for Nick. That's some real teamwork there. So Nick gets the touch, and then Cydonia shows how you can just dribble this ball on the roof of your vehicle and then launch it straight in, and gets that own goal there. All right, it looks like the University of Illinois did take it 2-0 over the NTU Huskies. So now once the Hoosiers get in the game, we will be able to go on and catch the next round of action.
Now, once again, if you're just joining us, this is the casting of the CCA, the College Carball Association 3v3 Invitational Tournament. We're now at the finals, I believe, between the Hoosiers the IU Hoosiers and the University of Illinois. And that's been 2-0 sweep so far for all of the games. So high level versus high level and intense gameplay. And we're interested to see how far the IU Hoosiers can go. And so far, very, very good gameplay on all of the teams. Very entertaining to watch and cast. If you're just joining us, please stop by, say hi, and we could say hi to you back before the next game comes underway. And it looks like we are still trying to figure out how we're going when the next round is going to start. Looks like the party is not quite assembled for IU Hoosiers. It is a 3v3, but Ravlin is going to be one of the players in order to spectate. And it looks like we get an update. Ravlin getting the note that it will be about 3 minutes before the next game. So if you're tuning in, it's a good time to go take a break. And as we wait for the party to assemble and for the next round to start. Now, we will be streaming and following the IU Hoosiers as long as the IU Hoosiers are in a tournament, which means this can go well into the night. So looks like Nick really not cooling down at all ever since probably the second bracket there. Really putting up a great show. Lots of juggling, lots of great reads, lots of terrific calculations. And it looks like we're still waiting for the next game to start.
Yep, and of course I do want to give a thank you to all the people that we've got following us, new followers to the stream. Really do appreciate it and hope that we'll be able to put out quite a bit of good content there for you. As a note, any esports that we do stream are going to be IU focused. If there is a game between IU and someone else and I know about it, I will be doing my best to stream it, and I will be the first person to admit I am going to have an IU bias here.
Yeah, well, it is very interesting as this is our first time doing commentating and casting, and since we are affiliated with IU, we are going to have that IU bias, but as practicing commentators, we are going to try our best to keep a neutral commentary as long as the game is underway, doing our best to talk about plays and defensive and offense on both sides.
I mean, you might be trying to be neutral there. I'm fully embracing the fact that I'm rooting for IU.
Alright, if that's the case, I will try to go neutral. Maybe I will always root for the other team. That might be an interesting commentary duo.
I think it really depends on who's going to end up controlling the camera on various games, true. On which perspective we're going to get.
Yeah, most of the streams, probably all of the streams for the time being, will be held on Ravlin's account. So be sure to follow him if you're ever curious about us casting any other Rocket League or any other games. We do casting and for Overwatch probably once a week pretty consistently. We do have the IU Overwatch team starting up here in IU, and we do stream the practices. And it is quite a bit of fun to follow different games at different levels of competition. And it looks like we're still waiting for the next game to get started. The bracket really not having started yet. It might just be a quick break before the finals of this conference.
Yeah, I think we're currently waiting for Tech to get back. I think he just took a minute to, run to the bathroom, get a drink of water, things like that. So we're just waiting for him to return so that we can, jump into this game and get ourselves going.
All right, and if you're just stopping by, be sure to say hello and follow Ravlin if you're ever curious if you're ever interested in watching any more casting and commentary of esports games being played here at IU.
Now, here's a question. Everyone is saying that this Nick is lit. Is he as lit as Pickle Rick?
Oh, that is a good question. Pickle Rick is one of the special characters, and I guess it can't really compare a fictional character with an actual character. It's kind of hard to do that.
I don't know. I'd say Pickle Rick was pretty lit. I think Nicklit here is getting pretty close there. I think actually the whole Hoosiers team is actually getting pretty lit so far. All these games that we've been watching have been very high scoring, and for the most part they have been high scoring on the part for the Hoosiers and not so high scoring on the part of the other team. However, This last match did get a little bit closer against the ISU. They were actually able to score a few goals, tie it up. ISU was never quite able to take the lead. Hoosiers always had the lead or were tied. Yeah, if you're getting Steam account notifications, that's probably from me. It's usually Nick giving me a little bit of information. That's the easiest way for him to shoot me information. I am in the team's Discord, but I currently have it muted because otherwise we'd be hearing all of their talk as well. And they didn't really have an interest in having all of their inter-team talk being broadcast for the world to see.
Well, imagine if the other team can hear all of the strategies being discussed and all of the plays being planned. That would be quite a disadvantage.
All right, and we're just going to take a minute and, take a moment, take a little break here, wait for the next game to start.
But I see, Ravlin, your car isn't as shiny and awesome as the other cars. Why is that, Ravlin?
Hey, look, they might have nicer effects on their cars, but my car has a mohawk.
That is true, but it doesn't have animations. That's all I care about.
I mean, if you're distracted by pretty particle effects, that's on you.
Oh, and do note that regardless of the cosmetics, all the cars are effectively the same speed, same jumping power, same boosting power, except for a hitbox difference. Different car bodies have a slightly different hitbox, which is, I think, the only variable or the only difference between each car model.
Yeah, and it looks like Nicklit might be joining us in this particular car body. My understanding is that the one that he used and the one that I use here are the two that are there. And I think Nicklit is joining us on the Rick and Morty train with that Morty antenna. Maybe he's making a statement that he is Pickle Rick.
Is there a Pickle Rick antenna? I would love to know.
I don't think there is one yet. I think Pickle Rick's still a little bit too new for someone to have designed a full model of Pickle Rick here for a cosmetic item. But I would not be shocked to see that being something that comes up in the next couple of months, maybe.
Now, Raven, do you want to give us an update on the losers bracket there?
Well, looks like University of Illinois knocked out Purdue Gold, so now both Purdue Gold and Purdue Black are out. The Iowa State Gold is out, CU Boulder Esports is out, and Indiana University's other squad is out. The ITT Scarlet Hawks got taken out by CU Boulder Esports. And currently it is the NTU Huskies going up against University of Illinois. And then in the other match is Iowa State Cardinals versus the CU Boulder Esports. This is leaving the winner of the losers semifinal will face up against the loser of the winners final here for the second spot in the Elite Eight. So the winner of this final match here will end up going on into the Elite Eight. The loser will get one more shot at it in the losers final.
Looks like Nick did change to Rick antenna there. I'm guessing there is not a Pickle Rick antenna. Quite a disappointment. And the cosmetics, always a fun part of any game, and always entertaining to see everybody's style and mashups of different cosmetic items. It looks like we might be jumping into the game quite soon. Give me a moment, I'm going to be discussing with Nick. Alright. We are going to talk about a few logistical items over on the Discord. And I'm actually not sure if you can hear the Discord conversation in the stream. It doesn't quite look like it, so it will be me, Nicklit, keeping you company here as we figure out the logistics going forward for the final, for the next game. And the CCA tournament, this is one of the conference. We are playing in one of the conferences. There are other conferences being underway right now, which means even though this is the finals, this will not be the final game of the night. If we do win the finals, we will be moving on and playing the next conference. If it turns out IU Hoosiers keeps winning and we keep moving up, we will follow them until they either lose out and drop out of the tournament, or if they eventually win the champion. And looks like we have an update from Ravlin.
So the deal is CCA has been streaming on their own particular channel, and they were wanting to stream or offering to stream the finals of each division. We're currently in the North Division, by the way. But since the North Division has its own streamer here, they are able to let us just go on ahead. So they are attempting to, they're probably putting together that lobby right now, and they're going to get us in and get us going as soon as we can.
Alright, and looks like that will mean we will be starting the next round soon. There has been quite a lull in the action here, but hopefully as the next game goes underway, we will be watching some high intense action of Rocket League, as we have gotten no shortage of that in the previous games. It looks like they are going to form the next party here. We're just waiting for the invite to get back in. And once we get in, we will be going underway for the finals of the conference. And we will be casting. And as Ravla mentioned, we are IU affiliated, so we will be low-key. Well, I will be low-key rooting for the Hoosiers, but Ravlin taking quite a bit of a different stand on that. Looks like we are in the party, the new party that's been formed, and just waiting for the lobby to be created there. So Ravlin gonna be rooting for IU pretty hard?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you might be low-key rooting for them. The only difference is that I'm not low-key about it. I am straight up on IU's team. I'm actually literally on their team.
That is true, which means if they get a championship, do you get anything?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Even if they were offered me something, I would just hand it right back to the players. You know, we're here to support the players. I'm just along for the ride.
All right. But yeah, well, I have just joined IU, and you've been here for a while, so you have a stronger relationship with the IU brand, as you've been here for quite a while longer than I have.
Hey, now, I haven't been here forever. This is only my 4th year.
Alright, yes, here we go, boys. Thank you for my for that comment. I am Nicklit, the awesome Lit car himself, joining us here in the chat, getting us hyped. If you want to carry on his spirit of being lit, feel free to repeat that message. It looks like we are in the lobby, and we'll be spectating right away as they get the team members in. And it looks like, alright, looks like IU on the blue team and Illinois. Is it Illinois?
I believe so. I'm not sure which Illinois it is. But here we go. Tech doing the aerial, knocking that ball down, not letting Illinois get it onto the Hoosier side. And even though there was an elimination, the orange team was able to defend for a minute, and there's Lit Nick doing the Pickle Rick.
Lit Nick Lit getting the first goal, not even a minute into the round here, right on the corner. Very, very fantastic goal.
Yep, tucking it right into that bottom right-hand corner. Those corners are the places where it's the easiest to score, because those are the hardest to defend, because they're the furthest points away from each other.
Just like real football or soccer.
Soccer, as us heathen Americans call it,
Detonation
right?
there from Nicklit, really lighting it up here in the stadium, but unable to get that opportunity with one player down for a few seconds there, and a save by Fat.
All right, and it does appear that the Hoosier guys are taking the same line that they were doing before. They are keeping up the aggression. You know, if you aren't able to shoot on our goal, you can't get any scores.
As it looks like they did catch on and knocking the ball into the blue area here. Tech going to push the ball out, going for a pass there, but kind of miscommunicating or miscalculating. Nicklit pushing the ball back. Will he be able to go for another goal? We'll watch right here, right now.
All right, and Navy Striker does go back, and while he's dribbling the ball up, he gets eliminated by Cydonia, which keeps that ball in play and under the control of the Hoosiers. That was quite the steal going over the head there, but Cydonia wasn't quite able to follow up on that one. Here comes Tech trying to get that save, but Navy Striker does manage to just tap it into the goal there. Not quite able to come up from behind and get that. He peaked just a little bit too early. I don't think he could quite reach that ball.
I did not know if it was a miscommunication, but let's say there was no defenders from the Hoosiers there and leaving the goal wide open. Now 1-1 here with 3:30 left, and it looks like was that a miscommunication or just did not see the ball at all? I cannot quite tell. Let's look at the replay.
All right, this is the first time all night that the Hoosiers have been behind. Let's see if they can keep that fire that they've had lit under them the entire time and bring this one back. It is only 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to go. I think the Hoosiers certainly have it in them to bring this one back.
And that was an odd kickoff as both players. And no, it looks like Fat going with the momentum, getting another goal. 3-1, Hoosiers down 2. Ravlin, how are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm not too happy about this one. I do take a little bit of solace in the fact that this is a best of 3, at least a best of 3. Even if, we don't take the first game, that doesn't mean anything. And even if we drop down to the lower bracket, we get to play again for a trip to the Elite 8 here.
It looks like Cydonia really trying to make something work. Nick trying to get an interception, but getting knocked the ball out. Looks like no defenders from the Hoosiers. Nick getting back just in time. Tech getting the boosts and getting comfortable there, but getting a bit too far forward from the ball.
All right, Cydonia knocks it back over into the orange side of the map, and it almost looks like we're playing volleyball here, just going back and forth over this middle line, high in the air. Cydonia knocks it down over into the orange side, but Navy Striker does manage to bring it back into the Hoosiers' end of the field. Tech does jump up and manages to block that ball off. Nicklit, all right, Pickle Nick.
But it looks like, there's opportunity there with some passes, but it looks like the ball's going to get knocked back into the Hoosiers' side of the field there. And a detonation on the court. Tech detonating Emet, but not really making anything happen with that opportunity there.
All right, looks like the Hoosiers have adjusted a little bit. They are now playing a little bit more defensively. There were 3 men in goal there trying to make sure that goal didn't go in. They are aware that they're down 2 goals right now. If they go down 3 goals, it's going to be a much harder game to come back from, but 2 goals is entirely reasonable. EMET does try to get that dunk in there, but just isn't quite able to get the angle on that ball and get it going down enough. It was just too high.
Actually got a deflection by Cydonia there, just clipping the edge of the ball and make sure it doesn't go in. And here we go, Tech trying to go for the offense there. A pretty good trajectory, but blocked by Navy Striker. It looks like it's still a pretty offensive here by the Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's looking like Navy Striker might be the star player of the enemy team here. Certainly in the running for MVP of this game. Although it is down in the Illinois half of the field, are the Hoosiers able to convert that into a shot on goal or possibly a goal? Well, they are down 1 player. Navy Striker was eliminated by Nick, so Navy Striker is back in the game at this point, but they weren't quite able to take advantage of that power play, having 1 more person on the field there.
Another detonation by Nick, and detonating Fat, but still not quite taking advantage of that situation, not being able to ride that momentum there.
Yeah, it looks like the Hoosiers have gone into a very aggressive stance of not only just trying to make shots on goal, but also trying to eliminate the enemy players. This is more eliminations than I have seen in any of their other games so far. Perhaps they're just trying a different strategy of, if I can't play you out of position, I will force you to be out of position by forcing you to be in a different spot. Let's see, the Hoosiers need to get a goal here right now. Otherwise, let's see, it is in the air. Cydonia is not able to get the tap in, and Illinois does take game 1. And there I go, saying Navy Striker right there in the center again.
Now, I will say that was fantastic defense from Illinois. Really, any offensive opportunity except for the beginning of the game really shut down by Illinois there. And Indiana really having trouble finding any offensive opportunity. And it looks like we are going to have the next round started. Ravlin, do you think Indiana should change the offensive strategy any little bit?
I think they should go back to their roots. It felt like this game they were playing a little bit more defensively, and that just wasn't working out for them. They were much more invested in getting kills on the enemy team, and they didn't take as many shots on goal as they have been before. Now, this might not be entirely their choice. They might be just reacting to Illinois here. But I would like to see them, take more shots.
Yeah, it looks like Cydonia missing a chance there for the interception and trying to go for a second one, but still not getting that
Nicklit,
contact.
Grabbing it back and shoving it back towards the goal. Illinois does manage to get some up there, and Cydonia knocks it right in. EMET does come out for the block, but then is just out of position, and Cydonia is able to just knock it straight in like nothing.
Yeah, Cydonia really coming out of nowhere. I don't think that was an intentional assist or a setup from Nick there. Cydonia really calculating that very, very well. A weird kickoff there. Everybody crashing into the ball, and the ball going nowhere, but looks like the ball is going to move towards the goal.
And Cydonia gets it.
Going for a direct goal there, and it looks like we're going to be up 2-0. Pretty comfortable there, and we'll see if the Hoosiers will keep up that momentum or start to play more defensively.
Yeah, it's looking like this certainly has the possibility of going the full set of games as opposed to the other ones which have been clean sweeps. For a second I didn't see Navy Striker there, and I'm like, Tech, are you just gonna knock it in from the kickoff? Like, there's no way that would happen, right?
I would love to see that happen, but looks like in the Illinois not really that risky, and still always going to have one defender there. Probably for all of these games, not going to leave the goal open too much.
Oh, and Tech gets it. What a score. Once again, dribbling it right off of the head of Illinois there. Oh, no, didn't even make contact. I thought it bounced off of the...
It looks like it did bounce off. From my perspective, it looked like it did bounce off.
We'd have to go back and review that footage frame by frame.
Yeah, but Tech not really having shown a lot of offensive in the game so far, and really coming out with a very critical goal, putting the Hoosiers up 3-0 and very comfortable. But of course, there's 3 minutes 30 left. There's quite the time for Illinois to come back.
So now the Hoosiers are up 3-0. This to me looks like a team that, took a loss in the last game, but now isn't going to take it anymore. They are going to now play this game on their terms. I think if you notice, you will see that they've been much more aggressive. The ball has been way more on Illinois' side of the field than it has been on the Hoosier side this game.
Yeah, and as Ravlin pointed out, there are fewer detonations in this game. It looks like in the previous round, Hoosiers going for a lot of detonations, but now that they have toned that down, really playing a lot better.
Cydonia manages, just slightly misses on the ball there. So we are doing an attack on the Hoosiers' end of the court here, but it appears that the Hoosiers are just able to keep fending it off. Honestly, with the way these cars are flying around that goal, it looked like there was just an octopus sitting in the Hoosiers' goal. They're just batting that ball away from all different angles.
And Tech trying to go for the goal there, but blocked by Fat. And the Hoosiers going very, very aggressive, but Fat really a terrific defender from the goal.
And, Cydonia tries to set it up for Tech to get that alley-oop into the goal, but not quite there. It looked real pretty, but Illinois managed to get in the way before that was able to go in.
2 minutes remaining, still 3-0. The clock winding down slowly but surely, and it looks like Illinois having trouble finding the right angle and the right opportunity to strike.
Yep, Tech chases the ball out of his goal there and then tries to follow it up. EMET does manage to get a score in. So at the very least, this is going to be score on both sides.
It looks like Fat with an assist there, and EMET getting that memo and going straight for that corner. There was a block attempt, but was not enough.
Yeah, once that ball crosses the full plane of the front of the goal there, it counts as a goal no matter how much you might try to knock it out there. Cydonia does take out Fat on the wall there, going for the ball. That to me didn't look like necessarily an intentional elimination, but probably a you were just in my way and I was going fast enough.
Yeah, and right after that, there was actually the second detonation, 2 detonations in a row. That's actually kind of aggressive. And a third detonation by Nicklit on EMET. Very aggressive here and kind of unusual.
Tech knocks it to Cydonia, who knocks it to Nicklit, who isn't quite able to actually transfer that into a shot on goal. Now we've got all 3 players on that side of the field. Tech gets back in time for the save with an aerial. That was a good use of boost to get back there in time to make sure that that ball did not go into that goal.
Now 1 minute remaining here, 50 seconds now with the Hoosiers up to 2 points. Ravlin, do you think they should be more defensive now with 40 seconds left?
With 40 seconds left, I think they should be putting that ball in the air as much as possible because it moves a little bit slower in the air than on the ground. Just try to eat up that time. If they get shots on goal here, that would be good because if they can be up 3 goals instead of 2, that's clearly preferable. But I think they shouldn't be taking any big risks here. Tech steals the boost out from under Illinois on their own boost pad. See, right there, like Tech got a good shot on goal. I don't think that was particularly risky. Cydonia comes in, knocks the ball away. Just a good shot on goal, manages to eat up time and keep Illinois on the defense.
And looks like the final second here, this will be our first 1-1 tie in the entire tournament here. Very exciting finals. Looks like Tech the MVP there, and we'll be very, very soon moving on to the next round, the final round, to see who gets the champion for this conference. Now right straight into the third round here, 1-1. Whoever wins this can move to the Elite 8. Ravlin, are you feeling any bit nervous?
A little bit. I actually have faith in these guys. After the first game, I was a little nervous, but after the second game, I'm definitely feeling better about it. It feels like they, really came out roaring in game 2 and really showed their spirit there.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. The round 2 really, who's just coordinating and a lot more beautiful plays. Cydonia with a Jogo there, but it looks like it's going to be blocked.
Yep, once again, Navy Striker. I do think Navy Striker is probably the MVP on the Illinois team, at least from what I've seen here so far, although it was EMET that got the goal in there. Tech, I think, probably used up a bit too much of his boost getting the last save and just wasn't quite able to get there in time.
Well, with 30 seconds into the game with 1-0, but plenty of time for Hoosiers to make a comeback there. Kickoff, and right away, Fat getting the ball, but getting knocked away into the Illinois side of the field.
All right, and just like in game 2, this is what I want to see. I want to see more time of the ball on the orange half of the field, more opportunities for the Hoosiers to be making those shots on goal. I think if this is anything like soccer, it's going to be whoever takes more shots on goals tends to win. You just give yourself more opportunities to score.
Looks like a straight goal, but blocked by Fat. That was a straight trajectory, but Fat getting in there just in time. Looks like EMET missing that hit there, but looks like Navy Striker is going to get back. And a detonation! Another detonation by Nicklit on Navy Striker. 1 defender down. Looks like they don't quite have control to make any goal attempts happen.
Tech almost had that nice tap in from the alley-oop from Nicklit there, but just not quite able to get the right angle there. That would have been quite the conversion from a detonation into a goal.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, getting a detonation while there's opportunity, having 1 defender down, it's very hard to convert that into an opportunity, into a goal attempt, as it is quite difficult to navigate and position around Rocket League.
Right. I definitely feel like if you are detonating an enemy car, you are not necessarily putting yourself in the position to hit the ball that you need to be in.
Cydonia quite risky there, almost hitting it into the own goal, but I believe the skill level of players will not be doing that quite often.
And once again, we're just seeing Illinois doing more shots on goal than the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers really, I really want to see them pulling that ball over to the orange side and letting, letting Cydonia and letting Nick and letting Tech make those shots on goal. They are making some fantastic defense, but this is a soccer-based game. Defense isn't going to win you the game. You gotta run up the score.
Yeah, for the past minute here, the ball has been the majority on the blue side, but looks like a goal attempt, and Nicklit getting that light touch into the goal.
Yep, just manages, holds it here right in front of himself, and with just enough boost, he manages to stay just high enough in the air that the Illinois manages to clip his car, but not the ball.
1-1 tie now with 2:20 left. This can still be anybody's game. A kickoff, and it looks like the ball's going to fly towards Nicklit, and good defense. A weird fake out by Cydonia near the goal, but now the ball on the orange side of the field.
All right. Yeah, just like I said, this is what the Hoosiers need to do. They need to keep the ball over here. They need to keep the pressure up on Illinois. When they were able to do that in game 2, they were ahead 3-1 at the end. When they are letting Illinois set the pace of this game, it's a much closer, much harder fought game. I think the Hoosiers really need to take the tempo away from Illinois and just wrest control of this game from them.
Hoosier looking like having a bit of a trouble with positioning there, a little bit of awkward movement from the players, not really sure what they're trying to do, but it looks like they have a better position now with Nicklit and Cydonia attacking.
All right, free shot there from Illinois onto the goal, keeping the ball up in the air. Cydonia once again showing skill there and intercepting that ball, trying to hit it, keep it going down. Illinois does miss at least once going on that. Oh, nice shot on goal, but EMET is able to save that. Tech does manage to intercept the return kick from Illinois before it is able to do anything. Once again, it looks like we're getting into a game of volleyball where the ball is just going back and forth over that middle line, high up in the air. Once again, we are in the Illinois end of the field. We want to see a couple of shots on goal here, but they are able to chase the ball back away.
Now, that was a few close attempts, goal attempts from the Hoosiers team, but none of them really connecting to the goal. And it looks like EMET, but Nick back to defend. Good defense by Nick, and looks like Tech is back for the goalie there. And Cydonia playing quite defensively here, trying to make sure they don't do any kind of slip up when they need to defend.
Yep, and Fat was there to prevent, or he was coming in with a big big flight there, trying to get a spike down into the goal, but doesn't manage to hit it there. Tech once again keeping that ball away from his, and Cydonia are keeping that ball away from their goal. Looks like this game might be going into overtime unless they are, nope. That ball hit the ground really quickly, so now we are in overtime. Next goal wins this game. I think if there were any finals that I'd want to watch, it's one that goes the full distance and goes into overtime on game 3.
Yeah, it looks like a 1-1 tie and a 1-1 here for the score, and an overtime. This gonna get any more intense than this. And it looks like right off the bat, very aggressive on both teams. Up high in the aerial, Fat trying to make something happen, but Tech with a good defense.
Yep, Tech manages to keep this ball in the air. Nicklit knocking it down towards the Illinois side of the field. Particularly in a time like this is overtime, guys. You need to get those shots on goal because, occasionally you take that shot and it's an easy one that goes in. You just need to make sure that, you have control of the ball and you are putting it down into the Illinois side of the field, and they're not putting it down on your side of the field.
And this is going to be a very, very intense, because in overtime, you have to balance both your defense and your offense. Can't really go wrong any of those roles. And it looks like Nicklit trying to get something to work, but Tech back for the defense. And it looks like, is there a follow-up? No, there's no follow-up at all. And Tech knocking the ball into the orange side, and the good defense there by Indiana.
All right, Nicklit is using some boost there to make sure that he gets in front of that ball, to make sure that it doesn't just roll in uncontested. Fat does manage to knock it up in the middle of the arena here. All right, Cydonia trying to set up, and Fat does go completely over the ball. I think Cydonia faked him out a little bit there, trying to get Fat there out of position. Once again, Nicklit tries, and then there is a shot on the Hoosiers goal, but it goes wide, and Tech gets taken out. Tech already back in the game. Since you respawn very close to your own goal, not a bad place to be on defense. You're already in position to make those defensive plays.
Oh, it looks like
Tech takes it. Tech managed it. He was flying through the air for that one. Do you see how high he gets? And he came from that midfield there and manages to get that in, and just in between the two Illinois players. He made a sandwich with those Illinois players as the bread.
I had thought EMET accidentally knocked it into the goal. That's why I was so confused, but it looks like it was a very, very good play. And looks like the winner is going to be the Hoosiers 2-1. We are going to win this conference and going into the Elite Eights. Don't go anywhere. Even though this is the finals, we will be following the IU Hoosiers into the next conference. But congratulations to both Illinois as the runner-up and Indiana coming victorious in that overtime. Very, very terrific gameplay from both sides. And it looks like Ravlin is going to go talk a bit of logistics and figuring out how the next conference is going to go underway. But once again, if you're just joining us, that was a fantastic game to watch. And it looks like we will be waiting a bit as we move into the next conference. So now rather than getting confirmation whether or not the Elite Eights conference is going to happen, we might have to either wait for the other conference to finish, or the Elite Eight might happen a different time. As soon as we get the information, we will be letting you know. But once again, a victory for the Indiana Hoosiers, getting the champion for this conference. Once again, this is the CCA conference, the College Carball Association 3v3 Invitational, and the IU Hoosiers getting the win there. And Ravlin still trying to get as much information as possible for the next round. It looks like there is a bracket set up for the Elite Eights. Ravlin, can you give me a quick confirmation if this is the next conference? A little bit occupied there, but we will let you know as soon as possible. And it looks like very quickly, it looks like there's a University of Maryland South Conference 1 losers. We are waiting. We are registered for the bracket for the quarterfinal of this conference. We'll be going up against the conference 7 or conference 1. A little bit far for me to see, but looks like we will be up against the loser champion for the Western Conference. Hoosier already queuing up, and looks like right now we have University of Maryland in another bracket. UCSB, UC Santa Barbara in another bracket up against RIT Gold. I believe that is Rochester Institute of Technology, not quite sure. And LSU in the 4th bracket there up against the North Conference loser. It looks like there is a 3rd place tiebreaker. I'm not quite sure how that mechanic is going to work. If you're stopping by, this is the coverage for the CCA Rocket League, or the College Carball Association champion. And Hoosiers League of Legends, welcome. That was an unofficial game. What's your Hoosier anyway? Yes, that is an unofficial game. Ravlin, do you know the logistics of why it's called Carball and not Rocket League?
So I believe because Rocket League wanted to actually create a Rocket League, the College Carball Association just chose that moniker just so that they weren't stepping on anyone's toes. So it was an unofficial game in that it was not an official Rocket League game, but it was an official College Carball Association game. That was the finals of the winners bracket for the North Conference. So currently, it looks like the Elite Eight, we've got University of Maryland coming in from the East Conference. We've got us as the Hoosiers coming in from the North. UCSB Gaucho Esports coming in from the West. And RIT Gold 3 coming in from the East. We also have LSU coming in from the South. And we are waiting for the South Conference losers, the West Conference losers, and the North Conference losers. So the team that we were just playing against dropped down to the losers bracket. They are playing one more game, and the winner of that game, which is now a best of 3 again, will join in the Elite Eight. So from each conference, 2 teams do move on. But again, to my knowledge, there's going to be a bit of downtime between now and then. I am actually going to go check to see the West Conference to see if that losers bracket final game is getting played now or not.
Yeah, and it looks like University of Maryland in the first bracket is up against the Pro Team Bombs. Not quite sure which college that is affiliated with, but we will see if we can find that out. And looks like the match has not started quite yet, and we are waiting for all of the teams to register in the next conference here, and it looks like we are not quite ready to start yet. And if you're stopping by, please have a chat in the chat room here. And we will, as we wait for the next round to start, we will be taking a bit of a breather, having a bit more casual chats, and interacting with you guys, the viewers. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any interest, please let us know. This is Klenoic, and the other caster here is Ravlin, and we are IU affiliated, and we will be doing a lot of casting for a lot of the IU esports games. Now, Ravlin, do you want to check out your garage there? Looks like you have a few new cosmetics. Not sure if that's from the games just now. Oh, I hear something start. Not sure if it's a practice round. Looks like it might just be a practice round between the players in the IU Hoosiers. Cydonia in the blue team, and nobody quite in the red team just yet. 5 minutes on the clock. Looks like Nicklit is on the team. Yep, it's a 1v1 practice round between Cydonia and Nicklit. We had a pretty good 1v1 round for the last practice match.
I wonder if there will be that gentleman's tie again that we had last time, with Cydonia balancing the ball on top of his car and just getting that 6th goal in there for Nicklit, just to allow it to go to overtime. So while we're just going to be watching some casual 1v1 between our Hoosier guys, just waiting for West Conference losers bracket finals to finish up. It'll probably be a good 10-15 minutes before we get into another official game. Although Nicklit did just go up 2-0.
Now that did happen the first time. Cydonia came back with 4 goals of consecutive goals coming back, but I believe this is just a pretty friendly match. Nothing too intense here, nothing too much on the table, but still very, very entertaining to watch, as these are 2 very, very skilled players going head to head, 1v1, very different from a 3v3. A nice juggle there from Cydonia through the air, but Nick really getting that intercept, and it looks like Cydonia trying to go for the intercept and knocking a bit stray. Nick trying to go for the goal, and does get a goal. 3-0 for Nick. Cydonia having a bit of trouble finding that angle and finding the opportunity to make goals. Maybe a bit too much juggling on Cydonia's part.
Is Cydonia really trying to go for goals here, or is he just trying to show off his juggling skills?
You know what? From what I see, you're probably right. Cydonia really showing off that juggling skills. Maybe putting up a show just for fun. Because why not? Might as well practice some juggling as we wait for the next round to start. It looks like not quite making a goal there. Cydonia coming back with a full boost now, going off the ceiling. Not the right trajectory, but could not get the rebound off the backboard there. Nick, clear way to the goal. Easy roll in. Just no defenders there. And I guess that's one of the interesting parts of 1v1, where if you miss an opportunity... Nick actually upside down for that knock-in. Don't know what that was about. I did not catch that the first time. A little bit of show-off, a little bit of showmanship there. But yes, as I was saying, if in the 1v1 you go too far in for offense, the other team can just go for a straight clean goal back to your goal. Yes, looks like 4-0 in Nick's favor. Cydonia doing a little bit of juggling here and there. Nick may be joining him for a bit. It looks like just a little bit of fun between two teammates there.
And Cydonia just knocks it right over Nick's head. Nope, this is gonna go over your head. Doesn't even give Nick a chance to respond to that one.
So Ravlin, what do you think of Rocket League so far? As this is our first casting session of a Rocket League tournament.
I mean, I do have to say I enjoy it. It's a fast-paced game, going back and forth. It's easy to follow because the ball is huge. And you know, it's a soccer game. It is a game of soccer, and that's something that I think most people sort of intuitively understand. You know, you got a ball, you got a net. Try to put the ball in your opponent's net, keep it out of your net. And I think that sort of simplicity of the concept here is actually really kind of refreshing. As someone who plays a lot of Dota and other Overwatch and some of the other more complex games where, you know, you have to learn tens or dozens or hundreds of characters and all of their abilities, knowing just like, nope, these are cars with rockets playing soccer.
Yeah, I think they combine two very, very large population interests. One is soccer and the other is the cars. Very easy to understand, very easy to follow, and I believe quite easy to get into as a casual game. Playing with friends, you only need 3 to form a team. Just grab 2 of your friends, get the game, and just hop in and play a bit. Whereas for Overwatch, it's a 6-player game, and there's quite a bit of a learning curve. What, 24 characters on the roster? 23 characters on the roster?
I couldn't tell you how many are in Overwatch, but I can tell you that in Dota there's 113 heroes.
So Rocket League, straightforward, easy learning curve, and interestingly enough, for the very, very competitive scene, a lot more complicated than what meets the eye. Even I don't know all of the tech and all of the strategies being employed here as we watch the game. And hopefully as we cast this more, we will be able to learn and give a more in-depth review and a commentary of the game.
Now, you will every so often see up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen the Nick and Cydonia just shouting back and forth in the chat of the game. You know, just trading a couple of friendly barbs back and forth, you know, calculated, incoming, no. You know, just these are preset chat options that you can map to your control pad, so you can hit like left to say a particular phrase, or left up or right down or whatever. I didn't notice this happening much in the actual matches, but now that they're sort of styling on each other and just having some fun with it, I'm seeing a lot more banter back and forth between the guys.
I'm sure they're more busy discussing strategies and positioning in the actual game than doing a bit of in-game banter. And I guess that's quite of an interesting point there, because unlike Overwatch, where it's open mic and free chats, the Rocket League can't really make any, you know, very, very mean or aggressive comments there to you know, turn away a population of gamers. Very casual, very, very lighthearted game.
I mean, you call it casual, but we're seeing some of the top level plays here.
That is true. Oh, nice juggle by Cydonia, really showing off there, carrying it all the way across the field.
And just hand delivering. Cydonia was just a UPS driver. Hand delivered that ball straight into the goal like it was a mailbox.
Very, very. And I guess I have to apologize. This is not a casual game. As you can see, juggling the ball, impressive, and I'm sure even more difficult than what it seems to execute.
I can definitely say that these guys are making this game look super easy, but having tried it out for myself, this game is not easy. I cannot get the car to go where I want it to go, like at all.
And it looks like a quick update on the new conference here. Rather than going to give a readout to what's happening right now.
Yep, so it looks like the Elite Eight has started. University of Maryland is facing off against Protein Bombs, the loser of the South Conference. The Hoosiers are still waiting for their opponents. UCSB Gaucho Esports is facing off against RIT Gold 3. And LSU is facing off against University of Illinois. It appears that the opponents we had in the last round there were able to pull out a win. Between rounds, I got a little update from Nick and the other guys on the Hoosier squad. Apparently that is the first time that the Hoosiers have taken a best of 3 off of that University of Illinois team. They were able to get that win, and that was something they hadn't done before, so they were actually pretty pumped about it.
Wow, I did not know that, and I cannot imagine the amount of intensity in the chat and in the game during that time. And just an update, all 3 other games for the bracket has started. We are still waiting for the Western Conference losers there, but all 3 games underway, and it looks like Utah Esports just joined in, and we will be starting very soon here.
And conveniently, as this 1v1 is about to end, I think the guys are just about to figure out that, yeah, they're going to hit overtime, but they're going to probably just let this end pretty quickly so that we can get onto a game between the Hoosiers and Utah Esports.
No, it looks like Cydonia and Nicklit deciding to duke it out a little bit. Or maybe not, just a little escort here from Nicklit to the other goal. Very peaceful. Oh no, Nicklit saying no, I want this win, and Nicklit, the backstab, no, Cydonia says no, you're not, good try. Nicklit saying yes, I am getting the win. And looks like we will be starting very, very soon. And it looks like as the game finishes, winner names, quite interesting though. We will be getting the next game underway. We will be going up against Utah Esports. We don't have a lot of information about the other teams as we are new to this game scene. And the players will probably be able to give us more information on their opponents, but as we said, we don't quite want their chat to be overlapping the stream, as it will probably get very noisy if that happens. We are waiting for confirmation that we will be joining the lobby very soon. It looks like they are still organizing a few back-end complications here and there. Now this will be the first bracket for the Elite 8. This is the 4 winners and the 4 winners and the 4 loser champions of each conference joining in the Elite 8. And I believe this will be the final conference, the finals, as each conference has had their tournament, and now this is the meeting of all 4 conferences here. Now if you're joining us once again, if you're just joining us, this is the commentary and casting for the CCA, the College Carball Association, for the 3v3 Invitational Tournament here between, I believe, across the United States. We do have 2 IU teams. We are IU affiliated casters here, and we do have 2 IU teams, and the only one that made it to the finals here are the IU Hoosiers, and we will be following them as they play through the brackets here. And if you want to follow to see what other games we cast, we do cast Overwatch once a week pretty consistently. We just started Rocket League, and hopefully adding to that Dota, Counter-Strike, and perhaps League of Legends. Looks like we're still waiting to hear back from the players about what's exactly happening with the lobby. Any updates?
We're putting together the lobby right now. A couple of the guys know a few of the players from the Utah esports group. They've played with them a couple of times, I think, in some like unofficial matches, you know, quick play and, you know, just, you know, when you're at this level, they said there were several grandmasters on their team. So when you're at that grandmaster level, I think after a while you just start to learn who all the grandmasters are because you keep playing with each other.
That is true. The top 0.7% not all players. It looks like we have entered the lobby. We're going to go straight into spectating mode here. It looks like the IU Hoosiers is going to be on the blue side here with Utah on the orange side. The match starting off right now. The first match of the finals. And looks like right off there's a kickoff and Utah being aggressive right off the bat.
All right, and for the Utah squad, we've got Brizzy, Owen, and Wicked Potatoes on the squad versus our, we've got Nicklit, Cydonia, and Tech. It does appear that Utah is... Ooh, I thought that one was going in. Sorry, I didn't want to talk over that. That was just going to set right into the goal there. Apparently Utah Esports, University of Utah has been doing a lot of esports initiatives and even providing some scholarships for esports players is sort of the word on the street here. Haven't been able to confirm that, so expect some stiff competition from these guys. You know, if you're getting scholarship money to play a game like this and, you know, carry the flag for your university, you know, I fully expect them to be, you know, really solid players.
Yeah, that incentive is going to be a heavy driving force. A little bit of downtime, just the ball bouncing by itself there. But Cydonia and Brizzy coming in hard and really trying to get the ball going. And it looks like the ball is going to go towards the Hoosiers. Go by Tech in defensive position, going up high for an aerial, but intercepted by Wicked Potatoes. But Nicklit back and the knockback from Owen, but not quite a correct angle for the goal. And it looks like Tech can get them. No! Tech cannot defend that, and Brizzy going for the goal.
Yeah, Brizzy gets that final touch in just over the head there of Tech. Tech does jump up, but that little touch from Brizzy just puts it up over the top of Tech's head.
Very good angle there from Brizzy. And a minute 30 in the game, and there will be Utah up 1.
We'll note that in this Elite 8 here, it is best of 3s, single elimination. So these games are real. It's not like in the conference divisions where you had a loser's bracket that you could work your way up through and grab yourself a spot. No, if you lose your best of 3 here, you are done for the tournament.
It looks like a miss from Tech there just now, and getting in a bit of a risky situation. Wicked Potatoes again with the interception and really not giving Hoosiers any chance to do any type of offense.
Cydonia does manage to get the touchdown there, but just not quite enough. It was too much of a shallow angle for that touchdown to be to really get there. Oh, that was so close. I thought Nick had that one.
Yeah, and Cydonia trying to go for the follow-up there, but was a bit too late and not getting the correct angle there for that fight. And it looks like Tech missed that. It doesn't look like it was intentional, but good thing there was no follow-up from Utah for that opportunity.
All right, Cydonia's got it shot onto the other end of the field, and it goes immediately back. Nicklit does hit it back over that middle line, and we are once again playing volleyball there for a minute. You know, just hitting that ball back and forth over that middle line, high up in the air.
Now, do you think the Hoosiers are having trouble because they aren't playing as offensively, or is Utah being very aggressive there with a goal?
You know, I think it's a combination of a little bit of downtime there for the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers had some time to sit and think, whereas Utah's coming straight off of their loser bracket finals. So you know they're coming in, they're hot. They just won a series, so they're pretty fired up. I also think that they are just controlling the tempo of this game more than the Hoosiers are.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it looks like the adrenaline rush from the games really do play a big factor, especially if you're playing back-to-back games this late at night. It looks like Nicklit trying to knock that away and knock it towards the goal. No defenders there, and a straight goal, and Nicklit with a terrific long-distance goal.
Yeah, it looks like that Utah just didn't have any boost to get back there in time, or if they had boost, it certainly wasn't enough. You know, Owen was trying to get there, but just couldn't make it. You know, putting the Hoosiers on the board. Now we're 1-2 with a minute 40 left.
And it looks like a high kickoff for the ball. A lot of aerials off the backboard, and Brizzy taking that advantage and taking the opportunity to really make that sink.
Yeah, once again, I think what we're seeing here is that Utah is just controlling this match. They're really the ones in the driver's seat here, and you can see that that's just bringing them advantage over advantage. You know, they put the ball above the Hoosiers' net, and then they were able to bring down their own player and just tap it right in.
Yeah, that was a terrific play there, having a follow-up off the backboard. Don't know if that was an intentional play or not, but it worked out either way. Owen going for the intercept, but intercepted by Cydonia. And Tech trying to get into the offensive positions, but not quite getting the angle there.
Yeah, Wicked Potatoes tries to take it back, but then Tech knocks it back. Nicklit then takes out Brizzy. I hope we're not going to see a return to, of the Hoosiers to their elimination-focused match there, and that was a good shot by Tech on, but Wicked Potatoes was able to block that. We had like 3 shots on goal right there. Are they able to get back? They were being too aggressive. They weren't able to get back in time to prevent that from across the field. Just a nice touch there. What a lob.
Yeah, it was a very hard decision for the defender on the Hoosiers team there, when there were so many close goal attempts. If they should jump in on the action for an opportunity, or if they should keep defending. It looks like the judgment was wrong. Down 3, 50 seconds left. We'll see if the Hoosiers have it in them to really pump out another few goals in these coming few seconds.
It is also possible that if these players do have... Ooh, Utah. Another one goes in. Going in for the save, and when they knocked it down, it went back just enough to cross that... the plane of that goal.
Yeah, it looks like Tech knocking it in. A little bit miscalculation about whether or not it was going to go for a straight goal or a ricochet off.
Now, it is possible that if the University of Utah is supporting its esports players with actual scholarship money, that they might also have more dedicated practice time and space than is available here currently at IU Bloomington. We are in the process of trying to lock down that space, but we currently don't have any money for students.
Yeah, it looks like Owen getting another goal there. It looks like really the domination from Utah in this game. Really clear. The offensive prowess is going way past and just striking through the defense of the Hoosiers team.
Yeah, you know, if I were the Hoosiers right now, there's 13 seconds left. There's no way I'm going to score 5 goals in 13 seconds. I would just sort of write this game off as a loss and try to get my head into the right space for the next match.
Yeah, it looks like Utah really not giving them any room to breathe, trying to get that psychological pressure, really trying to crush their morale. But if I was the Hoosiers at 5 seconds left, or even 13 seconds left, or even just now 30 seconds left, would take this opportunity to learn the inner workings and minutiae details of the Utah team, and trying to get as much information from this round as we move into the second round.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what the Hoosiers were doing, because those last few goals were easily scorable goals.
And it looks like we're looking at I'm going to move straight into the spectating mode here. Moving into round 2, the Hoosiers really hoping to get a momentum rolling here. The last game, the momentum completely in Utah's favor, and just absolutely steamrolling the Hoosiers team. The next round, hopefully the Hoosiers can get a strong start and keep that momentum up. Ravlin, going into the second game, what do you think the Hoosier strategy should be? Should it be aggressive, or seeing the offensive prowess? Should they go for more of a defensive play?
So I would focus on keeping control of the ball, being the ones who decide where the ball wants to go when. Because the Hoosiers have shown when they are setting the tempo for the game, they can do what Utah just did to the Hoosiers. They have it in them. They have the skills to do that. But they need to take control of the tempo of the game. And Utah's not going to let that happen easily. Utah is really showing some prowess. Wicked Potatoes putting another one in. Wicked Potatoes managing to get really nice hit, and Tech was almost there, but just not quite fast enough. I wonder if Tech was a little low on boost there and wasn't able to get all the way over quite as quickly as he wanted to.
Yeah, it looks like a very high momentum and almost going in there, and followed by Brizzy, but a bit too high. Cydonia trying to use this opportunity to push forward, but no, the defense from Utah going back just in time with the boosts.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Patches. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's take control of this game. Let's score a couple of goals. Let's make this go to a game 3 at the very least.
Yeah, the Hoosiers really trying to find the offensive angle here, and the defense from Utah also very strong, just absolutely defending and knocking the ball back into the Hoosiers side of the field. The Hoosiers really find difficulty both in the offensive and defensive position. It looks like we can see Owen really dominating the game here. A lot of goals, a lot of terrific angles.
You can see Cydonia is so close, just gets his nose on that ball, but it's not quite quick enough. That is a tragic goal to lose. Cydonia was right there.
Now, do you wonder from Wicked Potatoes, the sparkling trail, if that is equivalent to a golden gun, which is a very high reward for competitive play?
I'm not sure. You do have a bunch of different choices for your boost trail, even just starting out. There we go.
Goal by Cydonia. Very, very good follow-in. And that was very, very well executed by Tech with that re-angle there. And Cydonia, beautiful.
Right. Now, let's see if the Hoosiers are able to take this as a shot in the arm and really, take control of this game again.
Yeah, really need that momentum. We need to keep that adrenaline pumping in the system. Cydonia looking like, no, it was blocked by Brizzy, but a terrific start there. And let's take a look if they can keep up the offensive momentum.
Yeah, as you can see with that kickoff, Cydonia had a really well executed a front flip and was able to get there super fast in front of Utah before they were able to get there.
It looks like Brizzy trying to go for an intercept, but not quite. Cydonia back on the field to knock the ball over. Pretty good. Nope, it was a bit far off to the left. And
Nick. Oh, so close.
Yeah, it looks like Nick was trying to go for the offensive
he was looking
backboard.
to pass to himself from off the back wall there. Cydonia does manage to get the ball over onto Utah's end of the court. Passing it off to Nicklit. Oh, that was not quite the angle that we were looking for.
Yeah, but this is very good offensive momentum from the Hoosiers. Hoosiers really taking control of the pacing here. Wicked Potatoes being a bit of juggling by Cydonia. Another detonation for Wicked Potatoes, a big player, and they really need to get that opportunity in.
Yeah, and if you're taking out a player who's actively juggling the ball like that, I think that's definitely a worthwhile detonation. Some of the detonations earlier were, of players who were nowhere near the ball.
Oh, Cydonia missing that block there, and Wicked Potato for an easy goal. Don't know if that was out of boost or just a miscalculation. Let's take a look at the replay. No, it was a...
Cydonia wasn't even on the ground. He wasn't even able to respond to that one. That's, again, Utah just taking advantage of the positioning that they're forcing the Hoosiers to go into.
Yeah. Now, I was wondering for detonations if that will actually disrupt the pacing and the rhythm of the player when they detonate, getting them a bit of a frustration, but we'll have to ask the players afterwards.
I mean, I could imagine it being frustrated if you get detonated 3, 4, 5 times in a row. But, once when you guys are just, both going at the ball full tilt, that's just part of the game. It happens. If you let one detonation get you, you're way too susceptible to tilt.
Yeah. It looks like there was a close goal from Cydonia there, but not quite in the right position to get that. Tech trying to push it back. Cydonia juggling out a high lob and almost does get a follow through off the back where Cydonia really getting the juggle. Watch the juggle here off the backboard, reading the backboard and getting right in position. Wicked Potatoes a bit early, and I wonder if Cydonia saw Wicked Potatoes coming in and not using the boost and delaying that trajectory a bit and making Wicked Potatoes miss that block.
I wouldn't put it past Cydonia at all. From what I've seen so far, that seems like something Cydonia would absolutely do.
Terrific reads from both teams and outplayed. And looks like Tech going for another block there, and Cydonia an air juggle. See if Wicked Potatoes comes in and misses the interception.
All right, Cydonia once again taking control of that ball. Nicklit doing it, just an alley-oop, 1-2, passing it from Cydonia to Nick. Nick just taps it right in, ties up the game 3-3. You know what? I think that first goal was really the shot in the arm that the Hoosiers needed, and they are absolutely, really stepping it up now. It's 3-3 with 1:03 left. I am thrilled to see this game.
Anyone's game right now because Hoosiers has the offensive momentum, but as we have seen before, Utah cannot be written off as a weak opponent. Very strong offensive potential, but the game being controlled by the Hoosiers pacing right now. It looks like Owen's going to get a knockback, and Owen's going to try to get the ball to his teammate. It looks like Brizzy a pretty clear goal, but just off to the side.
Yeah, and that ball went past both Nicklit and and Cydonia and was down to Tech at the end there to keep that ball from going in. All right, we've got 30 seconds left. The ball is currently on the Hoosier side of the field. We need to move it down and onto the Utah side to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it looks like there were a lot of aggression from Utah there, and those Hoosiers are scrambling with the defenses, and one defense after another is just not enough to keep going back, running out of boosts, and the Utah really pulling that goal and getting that really critical goal, and with 23 seconds left on the clock.
First touch goes to Nick. Utah takes it. All right. They are down on the Utah side of the field, all three of them. Nicklit trying to set it up. Cydonia in the air. Nicklit trying to do it in, but Owen gets it.
Close to miss.
Tech misses. All right, it is in the air. We are going to get down to, can we keep it in the air? Tech keeping it up, and it is down. Unfortunately, Utah is able to take that.
Yeah, it looks like the final goal there with 23 seconds left. Once again, Utah cannot be written off as an easy opponent. Very strong offense there. But I have to give it to Hoosiers coming up with the 2 goals for a 3-3. But unfortunately cannot keep that momentum going for too long. Looks like we are going to be looking at what the plan is for the next coming steps here, as we have lost 2. And it looks like we might be out of the competition here. We'll be checking as soon as Ravlin gets the information here. And it looks like can't hear anything right now. Alright, looks like the Hoosiers team going for an immediate feedback session, going for immediate reflection. That was a very tough opponent. Utah, very strong offense, very strong defense, and I believe a great learning experience for the Hoosiers team for the next competition. And Ravlin confirming whether or not there will be more games. And once again, a fantastic game, seeing their high intensity from both Utah and the Hoosiers team. And it looks like we are going to be done here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be closing off soon. But if you're still in the chat, I want to say thank you. Cydonia 1v5. Didn't see the chat here, but it looks like yeah, it looks like we missed a few chat messages there. Too intense in the game, didn't quite notice the chat messages. But yes, Cydonia really pulling a lot of weight. But Nick also doing a lot of job and can really write off Tech with all of the defensive plays there.
Right, and we do definitely want to thank our audience here for joining us for our first official tournament casting. We have been casting practice matches and quick plays, but this is the first time we've gotten a chance to actually cast our players in a tournament. So once again, thank you for joining us, and thank you for all the new followers that we have gained. Hope to see you around again sometime soon. keep an eye out. We will be doing casting as much as we can, and thank you so much, Lazark. Lazark. We'll go with that. Just give us a follow, and you'll be able to see as much IU esports as we are able to track down and stream. All right, thank you guys so much, and have a great night.
All right. And if you haven't yet, as we close the stream, thank you very much. Hit that follow button if you want to see more IU gaming streams, and we will see you next time.